"Welcome to Presidential Salon, sir," a melodious voice greeted him. A young woman with an infectious smile gestured toward the waiting area. "Please, make yourself comfortable. Would you like something to drink while you wait?" Sunday shifted uncomfortably. I'm just here for a haircut. How much do you charge?" The hostess's smile widened. "Sir, all our services are completely free. Please, let me show you our beverage menu while you wait." She handed him a leather-bound menu that looked more appropriate for a five-star restaurant than a barbershop. Sunday's eyes widened as he scanned the prices. Hennessy Richard 1.5 million Nairas. Crystal Champagne 2 million Nairas. His yearly salary couldn't cover some of these bottles. I couldn't possibly," he stammered. "Sir, please, it would be our pleasure. Everything here is complimentary." Still in disbelief, Sunday ordered the Hennessy Richard, expecting to be told it was a joke. Minutes later, the hostess returned with the expensive cognac on a silver tray, accompanied by steaming plates of jollof rice and grilled chicken. The service was impeccable. His barber, dressed in what appeared to be a designer uniform, worked with precision and skill. The chair was more comfortable than Sunday's sofa at home, and the equipment looked state-of-the-art. Throughout the cut, attendants ensured his glass never emptied. Welcome to African Tales. Please subscribe, like and share our videos to support us. The gleaming facade of Presidential Salon stood out like a jewel among the other buildings on Victoria Island, Lagos. Its modern architecture, tinted floor-to-ceiling windows, and golden signage spoke of luxury that most people could only dream of. Yet, rumors had been circulating about something extraordinary. Everything inside was free. Sunday Adebayo stood outside the imposing structure, his heart pounding against his chest. As a middle-class bank employee, he was used to more modest barbershops, but the stories he'd heard about this place seemed too good to be true. Taking a deep breath, he pushed open the heavy glass door. The interior took his breath away. Pristine marble floors stretched as far as the eye could see, crystal chandeliers hung from high ceilings, and the air was perfectly cooled to escape Lagos's oppressive heat. Beautiful young women in crisp uniforms moved gracefully between stations, attending to customers with practiced elegance. "Welcome to Presidential Salon, sir," a melodious voice greeted him. A young woman with an infectious smile gestured toward the waiting area. "Please, make yourself comfortable. Would you like something to drink while you wait?" Sunday shifted uncomfortably. I'm just here for a haircut. How much do you charge?" The hostess's smile widened. "Sir, all our services are completely free. Please, let me show you our beverage menu while you wait." She handed him a leather-bound menu that looked more appropriate for a five-star restaurant than a barbershop. Sunday's eyes widened as he scanned the prices. Hennessy Richard 1.5 million Nairas. Crystal Champagne 2 million Nairas. His yearly salary couldn't cover some of these bottles.
I couldn't possibly," he stammered. "Sir, please. It would be our pleasure. Everything here is complimentary."
Still in disbelief, Sunday ordered the Hennessy Richard, expecting to be told it was a joke. Minutes later, the hostess returned with the expensive cognac on a silver tray, accompanied by steaming plates of jollof rice and grilled chicken.
The service was impeccable. His barber, dressed in what appeared to be a designer uniform, worked with precision and skill. The chair was more comfortable than Sunday's sofa at home, and the equipment looked state-of-the-art. Throughout the cut, attendants ensured his glass never emptied. When the haircut was finished, Sunday braced himself for the catch. Surely there had to be one. But the hostess simply smiled, handed him a gift bag containing the remainder of his Hennessy, and wished him a pleasant evening. Word spread quickly. Sunday couldn't help but share his experience with friends and colleagues, though many dismissed it as fantasy. One such skeptic was Musa Ibrahim, a civil servant who had lived in Lagos long enough to know that nothing came for free. Musa's curiosity eventually got the better of him. On a Saturday morning, he found himself standing before the presidential salon, watching as a steady stream of customers entered and exited, many carrying expensive-looking gift bags. Inside, the scene was just as Sunday had described. Despite the crowd, the salon operated with remarkable efficiency. 18 barbing stations ran simultaneously, each staffed by a skilled professional. The air conditioning hummed quietly, maintaining perfect temperature despite the number of people inside. When an usher approached him with a menu, Musa decided to test the limits of their hospitality. "I'm sorry, but I only brought money for a haircut," he said apologetically. The usher's response was warm and genuine. "Sir, please don't worry about money. Everything here is complimentary. Would you like to see our wine list?"
Still suspicious, Musa ordered a rare vintage worth over 2 million nairas. To his astonishment, it was brought to him without hesitation. When he requested a takeaway bottle, that too was provided with a smile.
As he left, the staff's only request was that he tell others about Presidential Salon. It seemed too good to be true, but the evidence was in his hands. Authentic, expensive wine that hadn't cost him a kobo.
The salon's reputation grew exponentially. Soon, more than 300 customers were visiting daily, each receiving the same luxurious treatment. The staff never seemed overwhelmed, the supplies never ran low, and the quality of service never diminished. Emeka Okonkwo, a business consultant with an analytical mind, approached the situation with professional skepticism. He had dealt with enough business models to know that this one made no sense. No establishment could survive while giving away millions of naira in products daily, let alone turn a profit. His first visit to Presidential Salon was a fact-finding mission. He observed everything: the staff numbers, the product inventory, the customer flow. The operation was flawless, perhaps too flawless. When offered refreshments, he deliberately ordered their most expensive champagne, a rare vintage worth 10 million nairas. They brought it without hesitation. Emeka took the champagne to a respected wine merchant for authentication. The verdict: genuine, and worth every naira of its stated value. Combined with the other items he'd received, his free visit had cost the salon around 12 million nairas. The mystery gnawed at him. As a business consultant, he couldn't let it go. How were they funding this operation? Where was the money coming from? What was the catch?
Weeks later, he returned for another haircut. This time, he had a different request. "I'd like to keep my hair after the cut," he said casually, watching the staff's reaction carefully.
The atmosphere changed instantly. The ever-present smiles disappeared, replaced by rigid expressions. "I'm sorry, sir, but that's not allowed," the manager said firmly. Emeka insisted, growing more suspicious by the moment. Why would a salon care about discarded hair? When he refused to back down, security personnel appeared seemingly from nowhere. They weren't the typical uniformed guards found in Lagos establishments. These men moved with military precision and carried themselves with dangerous authority. He found himself outside the salon, nursing bruised pride and growing suspicions. But rather than deterring him, the experience only strengthened his resolve to uncover the truth. That night, Emeka returned. Hidden in the shadows of a neighboring building, he watched the salon long after its official closing time. The streets had grown quiet, the usual Lagos bustle reduced to occasional passing cars. At 1:30 a.m., the silence was broken by the sound of approaching vehicles. A convoy of luxury cars with tinted windows arrived, accompanied by motorcycles and SUVs filled with armed men. The security detail that emerged was far more sophisticated than typical private security. These were professionals, carrying themselves with the kind of alertness that spoke of military training. Then came the men in red and black robes. They moved with ceremonial precision, forming a circle around the salon's entrance. From within the building, staff members emerged carrying large bags. Emeka's blood ran cold as he realized what they contained: the hair collected from thousands of customers. The robed figures began a rhythmic chant, their voices carrying on the night air. Smoke, or something that looked like smoke but moved against the wind, began to rise from the bags. The hair-filled sacks seemed to pulse with an inner light before vanishing completely, leaving not even a trace on the ground. Emeka had seen enough. His mind raced with the implications. The free services, the collected hair, the midnight ritual, it all pointed to something sinister, something that went beyond normal business practices or even ordinary criminal activity. He spent the next days gathering evidence and building a case. He tracked down other customers, documenting their experiences. Some had begun experiencing unexplained phenomena, persistent headaches, strange dreams, unexpected mood changes. A pattern emerged. Those who had visited the salon multiple times reported the worst symptoms.
When he had enough evidence, Emeka took action. He organized a group of concerned citizens and former customers. They approached law enforcement with their findings. But the real breakthrough came when they took their story to the media.
The public reaction was immediate and fierce. Years of superstition and cultural beliefs about the spiritual significance of human hair fueled the outrage. A crowd gathered outside presidential salon, demanding answers. When the police arrived to investigate, they found the owner had vanished, along with most of the staff. Inside the salon, investigators discovered hidden rooms filled with ritualistic items. Ancient texts spoke of ceremonies that could convert human essence, contained in materials like hair, into wealth and power. The luxurious gifts given to customers weren't free after all. They were bait, meant to draw in more people, more hair, more spiritual essence to feed whatever dark forces the salon's owners served. The aftermath was devastating. Reports flooded in from former customers experiencing supernatural phenomena. Some developed mysterious illnesses that baffled doctors. Others suffered mental breakdowns, their personalities changing drastically. A few simply disappeared, leaving behind worried families and unanswered questions. The building that housed Presidential Salon was eventually demolished, but its legacy lived on as a cautionary tale. Parents warned their children about the dangers of accepting gifts that seemed too good to be true. Business ethics professors used it as a case study in their lectures. Religious leaders pointed to it as an example of how evil could hide behind a benevolent facade. Emeka never fully recovered from his experience. He had nightmares about that night, about the smoke that moved against the wind and the bags that vanished into nothing. He dedicated himself to helping other victims, establishing a support group for those affected by the salon's dark practices. The story of Presidential Salon became urban legend, a warning passed down through generations. In a world where nothing comes free, always question why someone would give away millions. Sometimes the price isn't measured in naira, but in something far more precious, something as personal and powerful as the very essence of who you are. Years later, long after the salon's destruction, people still spoke in hushed tones about the place where luxury came free but cost everything. Some claimed to see lights in the empty lot where it once stood, especially around midnight. Others swore they could hear chanting on quiet nights, carried on winds that blew in impossible directions. But most importantly, people remembered the lesson. In a world of instant gratification and too good to be true offers, sometimes the most expensive things are the ones that come free.